This is the Pacific Ocean, a few hundred miles northeast of Australia. Members of the Bougainville Revolutionary Army cram their boats with much-needed supplies of medicine and fuel and prepare to set off from the Solomon Islands for home. But first of all, there is a prayer for safe passage. Their prayers, I know, will be needed, because home for these BRA guerrillas is the little-known island of Bougainville, where they're fighting an even lesser-known war of independence with Papua New Guinea. For 7 years, Papua New Guinea has blockaded the island. Its gunboats and helicopters patrol these waters with shoot-to-kill orders, which means we have a 3-hour gauntlet to run. I'm here because this is a war for which Britain is also responsible. It was the huge mine that a British company dug on Bougainville which provoked the fighting, and it was Britain's casual redrawing of the border a century ago that turned it into war. Breaking down on that border as we enter Papua New Guinea sea space seems about the worst place to do so. I scan the horizon for gunboats, knowing we're carrying so much fuel that just a stray bullet will be enough to fry us. The horizon, however, stays serene. This is a route that's cost many lives, yet it's Bougainville's only channel to the outside world. It is also the only way in to the longest and bloodiest conflict in the Pacific since World War II. Just as we near the island, the horizon loses its serenity. We breathe with relief when it turns out to be another BRA boat. But at least I've had a tiny taste of what the Bougainvillians go through every day. This is the story of an unsung people who took on Papua New Guinea, Australia, and the biggest mining company in the world, who started by fighting helicopter gunships with bows and arrows, and have lost 1/10 of their population, and yet who managed to create what may be the world's first true eco-revolution. The next morning, we find ourselves in the hands of Bougainville Revolutionary Army Commander Ismail Toroama. Our main goal is to get to President Francis Ona, the elusive man who started the revolution. But for the moment, Ismail's capable hands will certainly do. I'm amazed to find him driving everywhere, as the fuel the BRA get into their boats can't go far. But that's a trick I won't find out till later. Ismail was a mechanic before the war. Now people call him the Bougainville Ninja.
Makes my arms feel good. So I could handle the M60. Misa use him to plug on. So now so naglahan lo mi time me cut this like in him stop lo right left hand ya. Nunap hold him to masgan. Tasol. Emi also 1 year tasol now since me kiss him this like incident. Iplas tanaplo beach front. Le miu klo sutimol maniet. Na oli trauma him. triple M203 grenade. Only launching me come, one plane missing me, number 2 missing me, number 3 missing me, number 4 one come pass lo handle me. Hanya only nak chop him. I mean, know what use, I mean useless. That's all. Just because I believe lo one something me lo fight long him, and me help him me play.
We're the first people ever to film Ishmael and his men, yet I don't get the feeling he really trusts us. His way of getting closer is a kind of baptism of fire, if gentler than those he gives both Papua New Guinea's soldiers and the men he's training on this patrol. What my sound man and I think might be a smoke bomb turns out to be tear gas. It's Ishmael's way of saying welcome, a short, sharp dose of Bougainvillian reality. After a good cough, cry and laugh together, he loosens up and radios for us to meet Francis Ona.
Yeah, Roger, make him good lolo work. So Francis initiative in starting the war, and I just got up behind it. Every part of the island has got minerals in it, and Francis saw that these things would bring change, and change about to spoil the environment and the future generation.
But before we leave, Ishmael gets second thoughts about us seeing Francis. A makeshift generator has blown up one of our camera batteries while it was charging.
Last night when I slept, God told me that tomorrow there will be something happening. And all of a sudden the battery blew up. I made up my mind to tell you that you will not go to Francis Ona. Otherwise you face some problems there because your battery blew up.
It's another glimpse of the strange grip that God and superstition hold over Bougainville. Since the boat trip in, I'm no longer inclined to laugh at superstition, but I explain that if TV crews read all the things that go wrong as bad omens, then the medium would cease to exist. Reluctantly, Ishmael concedes to our heathen ignorance. He gives us the 2 days of torturous uphill clambering that will take us to Francis Ona and the heart of the war. When I'm not gasping for air, I get an idea of why the Bougainvillians have such fierce reverence for the place they call Mekamui, or Sacred Island, and why they could no longer sit by and watch its minerals being plundered.
We have seen our valleys, we have seen our forest, we have seen our rivers, beautiful trees, beautiful forest, literally thrown into dust, and we will not allow that to happen.
En route to Francis, we come across his vice president, Joseph Kabui, who puts the history of the place into perspective for us. Ever since the French explorer Louis de Bougainville put his name on the map in 1768, the island has gone through an endless game of colonial pass-the-parcel. Geographically, ethnically and culturally, it was always part of the Solomon Islands, but 100 years ago, the imperial powers decided to change all that.
The situation that we are in is not only unique for Bougainville. I mean, there are many African countries that the superpowers, merely just carve them out. Put a line right through and say, okay, this part belongs to you, this part belongs to me. A deal was struck between Germany and Britain. Germany saying, okay, I'll give Western Samoa to you, Britain, and Britain said, okay, I'll give Bougainville to you.
Germany didn't keep Bougainville long, though, as Australia grabbed it during the First World War. During the Second, Japan snatched the island for a few years before Australia grabbed it back. And in the meantime, it had ended up as part of Papua New Guinea, which got independence in 1975. Bougainville declared independence 2 weeks earlier, not that anyone listened, and it took another 13 years for war to break out. At last we find the man who can really explain why things suddenly changed. Francis Ona is portrayed by many as a humorless, hardline revolutionary. I suspect they never really met him, because it certainly isn't the impression I get. So this is Papua New Guinea's public enemy #1. When he's not running either the war or the self-declared Republic of Bougainville, Francis goes gardening.
My fighting on Bougainville based on these factors. One, that is, we are fighting for man and his culture. And two, land and environment. And the third one is independent.
Francis used to work for a mining company called Bougainville Copper Limited. It was a company he would later destroy. The reason, as it's always been on Bougainville, was the land and the bounty it holds.